Kia ora and welcome to CIO Leadership Live. I'm your host, Kathy O'Sullivan, editor for CIO New Zealand. My guest today is Dave Scullin, Chief Digital Officer at Zespri International. Hello, Dave. How are you going?
Hi there, Kathy. Thanks for joining up with me.
Oh, great. Great to chat to you today. So I guess to kick things off, can you tell us a little bit more about your role and what your team at Zespri does?
Sure. Look, as Chief Digital Officer at Zespri, I'm part of the Zespri executive team, which I'm proud to be part of. It's a wonderful team and a wonderful company to work for. The digital team at Zespri is a global team responsible for working alongside our business to deliver on our ambition of creating a future-led digital-first operating model. And that incorporates designing, developing and supporting solutions that solve Zespri's business problems, solutions that allow our business to run productively, efficiently and safely, and solutions that support our future growth.
Great. And look, we talk about transformation as if it's an easy thing to do, but you'll know from your experience that it's not. It can be quite a difficult thing. So can you tell us how that approach has taken shape in your own career?
Yeah, sure. It's not an easy thing. You're quite right. I probably think that transformation is a bit of an overused term in our industry today, and it can have a lot of differing meaning for different people and different connotations. So to me, transformation is all about the context of supporting the business strategy and ambitions, and in particular, where you're coming from. So what's the current context of your current digital landscape and challenges, and what are your business ambitions, and then where you're heading to. And look, that may be a move from a very old set of legacy systems to platforms that can support the business to scale for growth. Or it could be, putting in plans for a whole new business model and channels that require technology enablement. So it's very contextual in my view. The key thing is having a clear digital strategy that the entire business has had input into, and that strategy needs to support and align with the overall business strategy. From there, it's road mapping, how to get there and executing a plan of programs and projects to deliver the roadmap based on business priorities and investment ability. So very contextual, I guess, or yes, but is my answer there, Kathy.
Yeah, indeed. So do you think there's a starting point to kick off a digital transformation journey?
Yeah, there is. Look, and I mentioned the digital strategy, aligning to the business strategy, getting the business to buy into that, having your roadmaps, planning your long-term investment profile and prioritising your projects. They're all things that I think most people would naturally think of. And look, over and above that, it's about board alignment. You're generally going to undergo some significant challenges in your organisation, probably some risks, and obviously some significant investment. So you need your board wholeheartedly behind the plan and supporting it. Likewise, the executive team, you need full alignment across your executive team. They need to be committed to it and know that it's the right thing for our business or your business in the long term. And then finally, I think you mustn't forget business readiness, particularly around leading and managing change. They're very critical aspects. It's bringing the people on the journey, getting them prepared for the challenges ahead for the change. It is quite a critical part. That in some respects, often the technology is the easier part. Yeah.
It is, and it's all well and good to have a plan, have a strategy, but as you mentioned, there are challenges. So what do you think are some of the common roadblocks to avoid along the way?
Yeah, look, I always think of them as challenges rather than roadblocks. It's all about dependencies to get along that journey that I mentioned, the strategy, the roadmaps, the project and prioritisation, the board funding commitments. They're all, some people could call those roadblocks. I call them natural gates and challenges that you need to overcome. So it's about laying out those dependencies and highlighting the elements for success and making sure you nail them well and truly. Then, leadership team, board drive and commitment is critical. So you've got to have that challenge or potential roadblock very much covered. And then, again, it's all about the organisational ability. So the structure of your digital team. Have you got the right structure for delivering a transformation program, but also, whatever the transformation delivers, being able to support that and continuously evolve it and improve it. So have you got the right structure of your own internal team, but also your partners, and have you got the right partners in place? What are other initiatives that are happening in the organisation that may conflict and draw on resources that will clash with the program? And then look, just environmental factors. We've had a major one over the last couple of years with the global pandemic. You've really got to think about those challenges that could present themselves, those risks, and how you would mitigate them. So it's about planning well and planning your way out of these challenges. Kathy?
And you touched on it there briefly, but is transformation evolutionary, or do you think there should be an end date to certain projects and transformation plans within a business?
Never ends, in my view. Definitely never ends. It's all to do with the changes, the scale and the size, I think. And depending on where you are in that journey that I articulated earlier, once you get to the point where you've got a solid digital core, data that fuels your organisation's imagination, and you're able to scale for success, then you're ready to unlock what I call unlock the genius, or the continuous and focused improvement and innovation. So, I suppose if there was going to be an end, once you're at that point, it would be. But really, in my view, continuous and focused improvement and innovation is all about transformation in its own right as well.
I love that saying, unlocking the genius. I'm sure most chief digital officers would love to do that in their organizations. So can you tell us then, as CDO, in what ways are you collaborating and influencing your organization and its leadership team?
Yeah, look, to me, any leader, executive team, any leader in any organisation, in fact, any individual, you've got to live your values of your organisation. Our values are guardianship, results-driven, and cultivating personal connections. So I try my very, very best. I don't get it right all the time to live those values. Making sure we care for our people has got to be number one. They're the very ones that will help transform your business, that will help deliver new solutions. So we have to care for our people, and that's got to have the utmost priority. They run the systems that run our business in my team's context, so I've got to care for them. Deliver on your promises and commitments, so deliver to those program milestones as best you can, is all about the results-driven value. And then connecting with as many people as I can in our organisation, communicating honestly and transparently, but being humble. Which is why I'm excited about being able to travel again shortly, because I can connect with my team in another location, or my team members in another location, and the broader organisation, and really understand what challenges our businesses are facing. Although we've operated very well in a virtual world the last couple of years, nothing replaces face-to-face relationship building and connections.
Absolutely. It's so important. And I know so many of your peers are also looking forward to getting on a plane and connecting with their teams in other locations. So can you tell us then, what do you think are some of the key attributes of a successful modern day CIO in relation to leadership?
Oh, look, I mean, this is just my personal experience and view. I've witnessed some fantastic CIOs in my time and tried to learn as much as I possibly can from them. I think, look, first class people leadership skills, the ability to build a high performing team is a critical set of attributes. You've got to know your stuff. So solid experience leading a technology function in a large, complex organisation for a CIO, I think, is very important. And proven experience in, development of IT strategy, projects, understanding of technology architectures are all very important around knowing your your central discipline, if you like. Excellent stakeholder engagement and influencing skills, including expertise working with partners, is another critical factor. I think strong experience around reducing risk, particularly legacy system risk in an organisation, and a good understanding of digitised business models is very important for future thinking also. And then just finally, an excellent ability, I think, to drive business culture and technology change. Embedding and gaining buy-in at all levels of the business is critical to a CIO or CDO.
Now, you mentioned earlier that people are really important to you in your role. So can you tell us how you're creating a culture that helps your staff grow and thrive at work?
Yeah, look, I always like to, create an environment for my people that would be an environment that I would be happy in myself. And I thrive in an environment where I'm motivated to get out of bed in the morning and go to work because I've got exciting, challenging things to do. And I feel like I can make a difference to the organisation's goals, ambitions, purpose, and strategy. And so connecting people through the whole organisation to me is critical to that strategy and business purpose, and giving them that opportunity. So it's exciting and challenging projects, meaningful roles, meaningful work. And that doesn't matter what type of role it is, as long as you've got an understanding that you're making a difference for the organisation. It could be creating a really great customer experience for our employees through servicing them well in terms of provisioning their IT equipment, solving problems, and so on, right through to architectural or technology leadership roles around key transformation programs. Are all very, very important roles to have the right people with the right mindset and feeling happy and engaged in. So allowing people to develop, allowing them to feel trusted, so trusting them to do a good job, but also there for them, to support them. So making sure that they've got someone to talk to who can remove roadblocks or help them through challenges, I think. So supporting. Then, of course, your normal development opportunities, leadership development opportunities and coaching. Flexible working in a healthy and safe and fun environment to work is very important. Always has been, but the flexible working more so nowadays. And we certainly operate with a very flexible working approach in Zespri that seems to be admired by our people. And then, look, just measuring what gets measured gets done and gets improved, measuring team engagement, understanding what people are positive about, but what are the weaknesses? What are some of the things we can work on together as a team to improve and increase and build our culture are all aspects in my view, Kathy.
Yeah, and one thing that as an industry, people are looking to improve is the diversity of the workforce. Why do you think we don't have enough diversity in IT roles in New Zealand? And what practical things do you think can be done to attract more people to IT roles?
Look, I think just natural growth in New Zealand of companies that have more of a global footprint will certainly increase cultural diversity. That's one of the things I love about working in a global company like Zespri, is that we're so enriched with wonderful cultures from around the world, and all those cultures bring varying strengths, and it's so wonderful to engage with everyone around the world, and it's wonderful to be able to share the Kiwi roots and culture with them as well. And so I think seeing companies grow and get a bigger global footprint in New Zealand is one. Just promoting the industry well has been exciting and fun to work in. An industry that presents some great opportunities for careers, I think, is really important. So better connection of formal education with business is another one, I think. You've almost got to blur the lines between education and business so that people are getting very practical connection with business and experience whilst doing their sort of technical tertiary type development. I think is very important. And then just telling the stories of success, encouraging contribution to networks, conferences, sharing of challenges and successes. So feeling like you're part of a broader IT network in Aotearoa is vital, I think, to growing our diversity and culture.
Ka pai. Thank you for that. And looking back on your own career then, are there any mistakes that pop out that, you know, looking back on, they really shaped you as a leader?
Yeah, look, I've made far more mistakes than I would like to admit, to be honest. And everyone does. I think the critical thing is learning from those mistakes. I think if I look back at all my mistakes, the common theme for me would be, not listening well enough, not keeping connected to everyone in my team enough, and finding out about something that I really should have known about sooner, because I didn't give the people that I could have found that information out from the opportunity to tell me, or I didn't connect with them enough or stay in touch enough to do that. So that would be the common themes: the listening, the connection, the opportunity for people to speak to me transparently and openly, so that I can help resolve problems before they become bigger problems that are my mistakes, really. So
we're all a work in progress.
We are.
So what's some of the best career advice you received?
One word: feedback. Ask for feedback. Continuously ask for feedback. I still look at it in my late stage of my career. I still ask my CEO, my manager, my leader, my coach for feedback. I ask my executive colleagues for feedback. I ask my own people for feedback. You really can't learn, you can't improve unless you encourage that open, transparent conversation and ask for feedback. So I've always prioritised asking, learning. It's really important, I think, to be able to look in the mirror and get that reflection and know how you can improve.
Yeah, no, that's great advice. So if you were speaking to someone who was aspiring to be a CIO, what advice would you give them?
Look, I think if they're aspiring, I think it's really have what I would call a good cross-section of domain knowledge and technical discipline, across the infrastructural and application space and data and analytics space, I think is really good. So if you can spread your wings a bit and not just be focused on one discipline, that would help grow your career into a CIO. And then all those things I mentioned earlier, it's the soft skills, it's the ability to create a team environment that's positive, to grow a high-performing team, to be able to influence, to be able to talk at a senior level, particularly at a board and a leadership level, are all the things that you need to be really good at to be a good CIO. And so anyone that's got those ambitions should be trying to upskill in those areas, in my view.
Great advice there. So finally then, Dave, can you tell us what's important to you in the months ahead?
Yeah, look, we're well and truly donkey deep in a transformation, if I'm allowed to use that term, because I said it was an overused word, program called, we've branded it as Project Horizon. So we are replacing some very old systems with a new digital core, an SAP S/4HANA digital core, plus a number of best-of-breed applications connected to that core. We're doing it in tranches over a number of years. Our first tranche goes live later this year, so we're very much focused on we're just completed build. We're now into integration testing and all the business readiness and change management work and testing and work that we need to do to make sure the go live goes smoothly, to bring our people on the journey. So it's very much a successful go live of that with a quality solution, so that when we do go live, we can still ship our wonderful, nutritious fruit around the world. We can get paid for it, and we can pay our growers and reward them for the beautiful fruit that they grow. So, in other words, keep our business running. The other priority is we have to keep our current systems robust, stable, safe and secure. They run our business at the moment. We have a very challenging season ahead of us. As you're aware, we've got supply chain issues. There are labour shortages, and Zespri is not immune to those challenges in the world today. So just making sure that we're supporting our business to get us through the season so that we get our fruit to market and get returns back to growers are the two priorities over the next few months, Kathy.
Wonderful. Exciting times ahead, and no doubt a very busy schedule. Dave Scullin, CDO at Zespri International, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you for making the time. It's wonderful to spend it with you, Kathy.